Hello everyone and welcome back. Like I mentioned in the previous video, we're gonna start our first DAX expression. We have already understand the model, and we have seen how we generally construct our model. And now what we are going to do, we are going to actually calculate the total product cost, which we are spending obviously in the manufacturing of our products, and then we'll see if we can divide by the products, and then we can find out if we can find some interesting concept out of it. Because remember, in the analytics, it's not like you just need to display the information on an analytic. You need to tell some sort of story to the business, right? So that's where the whole analytics shines, or the expertise comes in, that you look at the data, you refine the data, you prepare the data, and then you extract the information out of the data, right, for the business, to show them the trends and to show them the patterns which are not visible generally to the business, right? So that's what we're going to actually do into this video. So let's go, and I'm going to now go into my, so we have in the Power BI, we have three panes, a very high level that's normally show you the data model which has been built for your Power BI. And then obviously, if you want to see the table information, like the record information, there's a middle button which show you the data, and you can see the tables are in here, and you can see all the records with the column information. So it's exactly the data pane, where you can even apply some changes in here as well. Now that's the most interesting one, and normally it interests, or it's eye-catching for the business, because they normally interact with this view or this pane, which is obviously the visual. So what we are going to do, we are going to obviously, like I mentioned, we are designing the total product cost, and then we'll see if we can generate some really interesting pattern out of it, right? So obviously, we first need to look and follow this pattern, because I'm going to now calculate the total product cost. So I need to see where my product cost is sitting. So for myself, I know that because I've already seen my product cost is sitting in the dependent sale table. So you can see in here that's the total product cost, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to now create a measure on it, right? So the concept of measure is more like, you calculate the measure on the table level, right? So now we are entering obviously in the analytical field, like I mentioned, especially in the dependent table. I mentioned that most of the attributes of the dependent table we use for the aggregation, because these aggregation conveys some meaning to the business. Remember, we in dashboard or in analytics, we are not talking about detailed information. Detail we're going to see separately into another tool called SQL Server Reporting Services, or even we can generate the detailed information in our Power BI. But that's not the quite interesting concept in the analytics. In the analytics, we are talking about some intelligence or something, which is aggregated, that our execs and the board members or the top management, they can quickly see, and they can understand, and they can make calls based on that information. So what I'm going to do, so that's where the whole aggregation comes in. And in order to create the aggregation, we have the concept of measure, that we can create the aggregation at the table level. So how we gonna do it? We select the table, and there's an option in here. We can click on it, new measure. And now you can see the pane is open for us. You can even write into your notepad, and then you can paste it if that space is not enough. Otherwise, you can, there's a down arrow button in here for expansion. If you are not comfortable writing, in a one row, you can expand it, and once it's finished, you can collapse it back. All right, so I'm going to now call it total product cost. And what I'm going to do now, sum, and now you can see the efficiency. All the tables are coming to me without any asking. So it's the intelligence, and now I'm interested not in reseller, I'm interested in reseller sale, and my attribute which I'm going to use is total product cost, right? So you just need to click on it and it's done. It's display on your screen. And let me close the ending bracket and I can quickly check the syntax. Yeah, it's all good. Otherwise, we're going to see some sort of error, right? So that's good. And now we can see our total product cost. It is displaying in here. And you can see the icon has been changed. There are summation sign. I'm going to discuss, we have a long journey for Power BI. So I'm going to discuss all these things in the respective video. But just to show you how the measure is differentiated from the normal attributes of a table, you can find it from the icon. So you can see it's a measure. It's not like a column, right? So that's a good indicator. Once you are looking in your job, so for example, you join and you look at the Power BI dashboard and you want to see, okay, how many measures have been created on the table? Look at this icon. So that icon is going to show you the measure information, right? All right, so now coming back, now we are going to design the most interesting part from the user perspective, which is obviously we are going to spin up a dashboard tile. Normally each graphic is called as a tile. So, and it really depends, what kind of a dashboard user like. We need to consult to the business a lot once we are designing this dashboard, because that's where user input is very helpful for us. You won't imagine things by yourself and then, do things and then push it to the user. Normally business users won't like this sort of attitude. They want to be engaged because they need to use it and they need to understand what has been built and how it has been built. And once I say how it has been built, obviously these are coming from the source application, which is controlled or operated by the business. So they need to understand the mapping. So once you release their dashboard, so they can understand, okay, yeah, I understand what this field is and what are the titles, and even the coloring scheme and the font size, all these things that we normally use from the UX perspective. We need to be very careful once we build these, because that's more like, unfortunately, you build the best analytical system, and if your front end is not very user friendly or it's not giving a right concept or message to the user, you might not get the success in the analytics space, right? So be very mindful for these small tips. All right, so now we already have our first tile, and I'm now going to see my new attribute, so new measure that I have created. There we go. Sometimes it's hard to find, because if we have a lot of variable, there are a couple of tricks which we're gonna see, that how we can group our measures together. And I believe there's that's part of the licensing. Like, you need to upgrade your license to see that functionality. Well, by the way, that suffice for us, because we have a limited number of variables, so we are not concerned about that complexity. Let me just click on it. And now you can see, as soon as I click on the product cost, it automatically displaying it, because I'm actually looking at the horizontal bar chart. So you can see the whole information is coming as a one bar, because we haven't we just display the total sum, right? We have just display the total product cost without any aggregation. And that's where the whole independent table concept comes into the picture. And it's going to actually show you how you can now slice the information. So for example, I want to slice the information by a product. I want to see that, okay, what is the breakdown of the product cost by product name. All right, so we have the product name, like you can see in here. We have English product name. You can even rename that if you don't like the name which is coming from the backend system. So we can call it product name, right? just the product name. And that's it. And we are going to click. And you're going to see we have all that information, which is now showing us the product information, the product cost breakdown by the product. Right now, this doesn't look quite nice. Like you can see, this information is not giving me the exact information or any kind of interesting pattern which I'm interested, or in other words, it's not telling me any story about my product cost. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to actually display the actual cost on my bar, because obviously a user is not going to hover on all these product lines to see the information. So there's a button called format. If you come in here, you're going to see there's a option data label. You can actually switch it on, and that's going to actually display the information at the end. And obviously we have the information we can apply. For example, I want to apply inside end, so I can move the information in the inside of the bar, right? I can change the font. There are a lot of things I can do it. So we will see it because we are going towards some really nice professional dashboarding where we are going to produce some really good dashboard. All right, but at this time, I think that information, but still not, it's quite a lot of information. And I was just thinking what else I can, I can do so it can convey some useful information. So that's where your experience and, your consultation with the business come into the picture. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to now produce the top 5 costly product, right? So because that will convey the story. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say, so for example, I'm going to display top 10 most expensive product, which is costing us a lot from the product cost perspective. And obviously, like I mentioned, we are getting it from the cost perspective. So I'm just going to reuse my Meyer. So total top 10 product cost I want to display on my wheel. Now that's going to tell me the story. So now that's what we see the trend now. Like you can see, we have now 10 products. All the other products are gone. I can see the top 10 most expensive products, which is coming to the wheel, and it's showing me, okay, these are the product which is costing us from the product costing perspective, right? And obviously you can see there is a shift, and we can see the product name. And obviously if we are not getting the good sale, there's going to be a story for us. So that's one side of the story, and then I'll need to find out the other side of the story, and then I link them together, and then produce it to the business, so they can take a good measure to improve the business. All right, so that's all about how we can how we can calculate how we can write the DAX expression, and how we can how we can display it in a useful manner on the Power BI dashboard. One more thing, I'm gonna, not in this video, I'm gonna actually now show you the next side of the picture, where we are going to calculate the total product cost. We're gonna show it on the same tile side by side, and then we'll see whether our product costing is good against the sale which is associated with the same product, or in other words, are we going into the profit or we are going into the loss, right? So these are the trends that are really helpful for us to display to the business, so they can make good calls. Hopefully you enjoy the first DAX expression, as well as the first video that we have created. Please post any comment or any question if you have. Otherwise, like the video, and we're gonna see you in the next video with a bit more complex scenario. Thanks for watching.